next slated to speak was to be the mayor, and unfortunately I received notice from him at about 4:45 this evening that he had a member of the family, a friend of the family recently passed away, so he had to attend calling hours. So we've taken this time to reserve to have him speak. I'm going to take the opportunity to steal a couple of quick seconds, and just much like Amy, I think all of us who've known Matt or heard Matt for a while kind of appreciate what he's done. I was one of those guys that, believe it or not, used to listen to HLO because I was listening to Mike Savage at the time, and he was kind of getting a little hard to listen to. And one day I heard on the radio that they're going to have Matt Patrick about local politics. I said to myself, wait a second, is he going to do this between jokes and the wheel of meat? Well, after about 2 days of being skewered on the air, as people called it and said, "You're not Mike Savage, you're going to get kicked off," eventually people stopped and listened. And the more people listened, the more they realized and woke up and understood how important it is to have local communication. We get so blurred in the lines of listening to the flashy, the Rush Limbaugh show or Glenn Beck or, choose your poison of syndicated national shows. These shows, curtail to audiences all over the country. If you've ever tried to call into one of these shows, good luck. I've spent literally 3 hours on hold and then dumped off because, you're up against a national market. And the message that they give, it might be important, but it's not as important as what's going on in the local city council hall, or what's going on in our county government, or what's going on down in Columbus. And having Matt here with us to inform us and keep that information at the front of our mindset, to me, is a commodity that you couldn't put a price tag on in this community. So, with that in mind, I'm going to try to reach out to another one of my next guest speaker, if I can find him here. He's kind of hard to reach sometimes. Can you hear me? Yeah, I am. Who is this? This is Dougy from Doylstown. That's funny. We always seem to hear you on the phone. You come up on stage instead. I don't think anyone even knows what you look like. You guys might remember this little call, Dougy from Doylstown.
Thanks, Brian. Matt, thank you for everything he's done. Since the mayor's not here, Brian asked me to vamp a little extra. I'm not going to go on too long though. But what I do want to do is talk a little bit about why it is we love Matt the way we do. We love Matt because Matt does not need a teleprompter. And you'll notice there isn't one up here tonight either. And some people can take a clue from that. Matt knew that crap and tax was wrong without any kind of a focus group to tell him that it was wrong. He knew the healthcare takeover was garbage without taking a poll to tell him it was garbage. And what's more is, he can tell when he's being snowed by a politician. And that's an attribute we need on the air. Matt also knows that the life of an unborn child means more than the life of a punk like Ramel Broom. He knows that you got to ask hard questions of these politicians. These folks need prodded. They need prodded hard sometimes to do the right thing. Some of them are really good people. Some of them are really bad people. We know some of those. Some of them, though, are a little wishy-washy and just needed pushed in the right direction. A little while ago, Matt had a gubernatorial candidate on the air, and he had the guts to ask him about a vote he'd taken when he was a member of Congress 15 years earlier. A vote not everybody quite agreed with the guy on. He was probably a little surprised to have gotten a question like that, but if we don't ask those questions, they'll think we're not paying attention. And they'll think we don't hold them to account. And they gotta know, and through men like Matt, they do know, we pay attention and we take them to account. If the media just lets folks skate, really, where are we? Matt also has the guts to talk about local issues. As Brian said, it's not all national level politics. National level politics is great, but what about the school issues? Lord knows there's not a safe side to taking a school issue. I'm here to tell you the administration and the union that are negotiating are both wrong. I don't care what levy you're talking about, they're both at fault to some degree or another. And it ain't safe to go wading in there. But if guys like Matt don't talk about it, how are you ever gonna really know what's going on? You're not. And if you don't know what's going on, then you can't apply pressure to your local school board and etc. to help get the resolution that we deserve. Furthermore, Matt's not some paid-off insurance company representative. I'm sure he probably wishes he were right about now. A fallback job would be nice. I know I don't get an insurance company check every week or every month. I keep pestering them for it. They said no. But funny, our opponents, they got Acorn, you know, and they get their payoffs from, you know, doing a illegal alien child prostitution ring. You know, and here we are, just schlups not getting paid, but we believe. And I'm here to tell you that believing matters a whole lot more. And lastly, Matt's a friend. He's a friend of this community. Ask anybody at Akron Children's Hospital if you got any doubts about that. He's a friend of the audience. Anybody can get through to him and talk to him if you need to. Contrary to popular belief, I do not have a super secret back line to call his show, do I, Matt? I call 1-866-600-0640 just like everybody else. The producer just puts me on. I think I've got him brainwashed. And he's a friend of me, and that means a lot. And we're going to need him because we got fights coming up, some of which we've seen. A couple days ago, the director of the EPA went before Congress and testified that they better pass crap and tax. Because if they don't, the EPA is just going to unilaterally start doing it anyway. Well, our republic don't quite work like that, though the EPA seems to think it does. And we need men like Matt on the air to speak the truth about these sorts of things. And there are fights we haven't even imagined. You know, we're about 300 days into this administration. They haven't come after, said, Second Amendment issues yet. It took 601 days of Bill Clinton's presidency for him to pass the assault weapons ban. Y'all remember that one? That wasn't a very nice one either. There's more fights to come. And in those fights in the future, we're going to need men of his skill. Not everybody's a media personality. Not everybody, contrary to popular belief, can get behind a microphone and get people to listen. But he can.